First question here is from Phil. Good question. And it's part of the reason that I teach the goblet squat and then the overhead squat next. And if you've watched my videos on that, you'll see how I combine those two. I have a question, Phil says, about range of motion in squats, which has been driving me a little crazy. Not just a little crazy. When I goblet squat, I can fairly easily get my thighs below parallel with my heels kept on the floor. Yeah, and that's part of the reason the goblet squat works so well, because you have the load out in front. If I gave you a big old sandbag, 100 pounds, 45 kilos, and you had you bear hug it, your squat would probably be pretty good also. Having that load countering is one of the secrets that I tell everybody about the goblet squat, but let's go on. But as soon as I get a bar across my shoulders, my range of motion tightens right up, so I can barely get my thighs to parallel. So I don't have a video of you, Phil, but there's two quick things. Remember, when you do front squats, back squats, Zerchers are pretty natural, and then of course there's overhead squats. The load is no longer in this nice, convenient baby carry position. You know, I got a newborn up there, and little Leo, he's easy to squat with. When you're squat, so that's number one. Number two, and this one's probably just as important, you don't squat on your legs, you squat between your legs. And that's why the elbow pushing out the knees in the goblet squat seems to cure most people's problems. This is going to sound weird, but if I get there and, well, you kind of have to do it yourself, but if we can somehow get you to push your elbows out while back squatting, you'd probably drop down nicely, because instead of squatting on your legs, you're squatting between your legs. It is so important that you and there's my dog. Phil, I have to say this right now. My dog does not like your question. He's very angry about your squat issues. And I can barely get my thighs to parallel. Well, I think that's part of the reason, my friend, okay? And Mr. Sirius Black does not approve. From a biomechanical point of view, I don't understand how changing the position of my arms, shoulders, alters the range of motion of my hips. Can you explain this? I tried to, but the reason I want to put off this last point, and that's why I teach the goblet squat, and then at the bottom, you curl the way to the ground, and you pick up a broomstick, and you widen out your hands while you're still in the bottom, and then you stand up in the overhead squat. Soon you move to the 20-kilo bar, or you have people put the load on top of you, which is actually very good if you have good spotters. Because most people can't overhead squat, not because of this shoulder flexibility nonsense you see. It's because their hips are in the wrong, their orientation of their body to their hips, knees, and ankles in the wrong place. You squat between your legs, not on your legs. Okay, Phil, I hope that helps.